back then, that was our first experience even involved in dealing with like having control and distributing and finagling and being involved with the business side.
Then we finagled a radio show too.
Yep.
We ended up on a radio show and everything.
What radio show?
We ended up doing radio with LaMel Rockwell, WHCR.
Pure Righteousness, that show?
Wow.
Hardcore Righteousness.
Yes.
Wow.
Shout out to LaMel, man. I haven't.
Pure Righteousness. Wow.
Anybody can find that brother?
Hardcore Righteousness.
Anybody can find that brother? Tell him I said peace.
Word.
That's what gave us
Wow.
our stuff when we first started.
Word on radio. Word.
And I ended up doing radio at Hunter College. I forgot who went though. Remember that?
Oh yeah. Word.
Yeah.
So this is all built up though before you guys got your break.
That's
to do the
right.
single. Tell
Right.
a story about how that happened, how you met the person who ended up connecting you with Nervous. You guys performed, right?
Yeah, we did a performance with promoter named Maria Davis. It was part of the DNA Hank Love Talent Search or some showcase they was having. And we was actually about to walk out the door because it seemed like they wasn't going to put us on stage. Like the time was running out. So we put on our coats, hoodies, our book bag, knapsacks, and was getting ready to walk out the door, but Maria stopped and said, just give me 5 minutes. And she let us get on and we did our thing, you know what I'm saying? And Chuck Chill Out was in the crowd. And he had approached us on our way outside and told us that, I'm feeling y'all doing a thing, y'all did your thing, we got a situation, give me a call, you know what I'm saying? So he gave his number to Buck. Then Buck ended up calling him, they connect, talk, whatever. We ended up meeting up with him, going to Nervous. Got Nervous, brought us in with Michael Weiss, one of Michael Weiss. We performed. We performed in the spot. I was our demo, you know what I'm saying?
No demo.
No demo. We got no demo.
We had a demo made, but that particular meeting that had nothing to do with the demo. It had all to do with performance.
We actually got on because we performed, because that was our performance.
We gave out, I gave the demo, I sent the demo out to everybody, and you got the rejection letter of this is hot, but it's not what we're looking for. And it's funny because I still got the rejection letters from Chemistry Records, Warner Brothers. The only 2 labels I did not give the record to was Profile and Def Jam, and I'm gonna tell you why. Profile, Funkmaster Flex was the A&R, and I didn't want him to think that I was using our friendship to get a record deal. And at Def Jam, Bobito was the A&R, and the same thing. I didn't want him to think I was using his friendship to get a deal. Now the funny thing is, Search was at Wild Pitch, and I didn't get Wild Pitch it either. And when the record came out, Stu Fine and Search was like, "Yo, what the fuck? You ain't gonna give this to us? What's wrong with you?" And it's everybody who I didn't give the demo to was mad at me. And everybody who fronted on the demo was mad at themselves.
Yep. And he said, we walked in and he said right from that point of view you guys are at, and I'm Michael Weiss and I'm sitting here like this, and he said, let me see what you got. And I said, I looked at 5, and we looked at each other. He said, yo, y'all ready? And that's it's either it's gonna go down or it's never gonna go down. And we said, let's do it. Bomb! And we did our thing, and we stood and we routining it, and then after that it was like, bomb, what you think? And he was like, I love it. I've never seen that. I'm like, we walked out of there like this.
Like we did it, like we all the blood, sweat, and tears, even on a personal level, the blood, sweat, and tears. You know what I'm saying? Struggling, trying to make things happen, or dealing with being in the street and not be caught up in the drama, or be a statistic with not being able to achieve anything. You know what I'm saying? And that's why that album means a lot to me, because I know the work prior to us, the actualization of that CD, or the things that we had to go through, or the things that we sacrificed ourselves to go through to make that happen.
Yeah. You know, I was going to go through each track in the sequence of the CD, but since this is the single that set it off, I think we should maybe start with that, if that's cool.
At the props.
Yeah. So let's play a little piece of that. Who got the props? From Black Moon. Now that's the joint that set it off for you. Now, do you want to do a little demonstration, just a production tip here?
Alright, so production-wise, this record was actually produced by myself. What happened was, first of all, let me explain something. This record, when we shot the demo, this record was not a part of our demo.
Nope.
What happened was, we had a record called Feminine Hood. Is that right?
Yeah.
Feminine Hood. And it was basically like a gangster bitch type record. Right? And
Who came up with that title?
I ain't gonna tell y'all who, but what happened was, I think we was leaving the label or something, and we bumped into Q-Tip. I think we bumped into, and it was like, "Yo, what's up?" He's like, "Yo, I just left the studio. Apache got this record called Gangsta Bitch." And we looked at I think I looked at Buck like, "Oh shit, that's our idea." So what happened was, I had made this beat, and Buck. One thing, let me tell y'all something about Buck, right? This dude fucking keeps everything. This dude goes in, digs up the cassette. Yo, this is the beat I want to rhyme to right here, and it was the Who Got the Props joint, and it's like. We ended up throwing, how long it took to throw that together, like about a day or something? Like
about a day, because we was they was told us to come up with something, and he had the beat.
You do that at Shlomo's?
Well, yeah, what happened, we did it at Shlomo's, the studio, but what was more crazy though, when we wrote the record, when he gave us the beat, I was so happy. We wrote the record at Chuck Chillout's house.
Word of mother and the BX.
And the BX, and we were sitting, Chuck Chillout had like a 1/2 of a bedroom or something. It was just real crazy how to describe it, because we was real tucked in, man. Me and Five was on the floor. And Chuck Chillout is in the kitchen cooking burgers, and he's like, "Y'all want some burgers?" And we like, "Nah, we good, we alright." And he's like, "Y'all done yet?" And we like, "Nah, we be done in a few minutes." You know what I'm saying? I was sitting there, and next thing you know, we came in with the lyrics, and we wrote this joint at Chuck Chillout's house.
Yeah.
We recorded it at Such a Sound in Brooklyn. Studio is no longer here now.
Yeah, Such a Sound Studio. Now, and I'm gonna tell y'all something about this record that nobody knows. First of all, they didn't have a setup for the turntables, so I did the cuts sitting on the floor. That's number one. Number two, me and the engineer Shlomo got into a big argument
every time
because I wanted the record to sound one way. He was trying to take over my record, so he just said just like this: "Oh, you think you know everything? Mix the record yourself." So that was the first record I ever mixed myself in the studio.
Wow.
And I did the mixing. I set all the levels. You know, that was my first engineering job in a professional studio. And you have the results on the album right now.
Okay.
Now this is the original sample. I'm gonna also point out the part that I sampled too. Here we go. What I did was, the first part of that, I repeated that 3 times, then the last part came in at the end. And that was the beat, who got the props. The drums to that beat is,
I didn't bring those records.
oh, that's all cool. Sport, slowed down by, well, it's Cool in the Gang. Well, I don't know if they called that record though. It wasn't Cool in the Gang at the
It
time.
was Lightning Rod, right?
Lightning Rod.
The Hustlers Convention.
The Hustlers Convention, and Skull Snaps
Right.
put together.
Put together, right?
Back then we wasn't chopping samples. Everything was straight sample. So that's Sport. The drums is Sport and
Skull Snaps.
Skull Snaps put together.
Just synced up. So
Yeah,
that they
synced
lined
up. Yeah. The bass part of the drums is Sport. The part that you hear is Skull Snaps.
Okay.
And the glitter, I still forgot where I got that from. But I know it's a Blue Note record.
Okay.
But other than that, that's it. And the Come On is Wild Style.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, it took a minute for this record to take off, or how long did it take for once it got out of the street? Who broke this record in New York?
Yo, I may be wrong, but the first time I heard the record played, Kid Capri played it.
Really?
The Kid Capri was on BLS.
Right.
And
Kid Capri was.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run down how I heard it too. I walked to the corner store, to the bodega, and Kid Capri was on. Everybody, back then everybody had their radio out, and everybody was listening to Kid Capri, and he just went straight into it, boom, boom, and I was like, yo, that's my record. No, it's not. You know what I'm saying? But it's like Kid Capri played the instrumental, he talked over it, then he let the vocals play. Then right after that, that was Friday night. Saturday night, the Awesome 2 blasted off on it. So the Awesome 2 was second.
Yeah.
And then like you had the Dirty Dozen, DNA, Hank Love, the whole lineup on WNWK. Every show played it.
Yeah.
Then after that, like Red Alert got onto it.
Red Alert got on.
And
Okay.
it just took off from there. But that was New York-wise.
That's New York, yeah.
It took a minute to spread from New York across to the rest of the world. But what it took like a year, right?
Almost a little something, somewhere around there. Nah, probably a few months. But we was doing like 360 Black Festival tournament. I mean, we was running around like, we was running around
Just
like,
working
wow,
to
just
support
We was working and pushing it back then.
we was going everywhere. We was in 2 spots at the same time.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy to think of, because now we're in an age where it's like, you get an MP3, it's over, you get 30 MP3s listed on a blog in a day, and then everybody forgot about them the next day.
Yeah.
You got a record here that you had to work for several months to try to like break nationally, not just through New York, and it still has that
It's
sort
a
of...
blessing. It was a blessing how everything, came about on our first time. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody was really schooling us. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was really there to direct and say, nah, you shouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? From the groundwork of being in the street and Buck working as an intern with that knowledge information and the knowledge we already had from the research about just dealing life, period. You know what I'm saying? We was able to take that information and that energy and come up with that product.
Yeah.
Everything was on our own. We went out first show. We had to go there and get bread from the promoter. We didn't know what that was, you know what I'm saying? At that time, like, we had to take that responsibility.
I often tell my man Boogie when we first did the first session, Michael Weiss, we no longer was working with Chuck Chill Out when we first did the album. When we got the call to do the album, Chuck Chill Out was already fired or whatever term you want to use.
Let's just say he left.
We wasn't working with Chuck, whatever, at that point. and Michael Weiss had gave me like in cash, you know.
Yeah, that's
I was
right.
like,
Wow.
I'm like, what's going on here? Like, what are you doing? I'm like, am I doing the right thing?
10
Like,
stacks.
The pressure was just bananas, you know what I'm saying?
Right. How old are you guys at this point, too?
We young, we was big, 18, 17, 18.
I'm
17, 18. What is
I'm old. I was 21. I'm old.
18,
Yeah.
17.
Oh.
Like that. So yeah, we was the pressure was on us when we did that album.
Because so Michael said after the single started taking off, guys do an entire album.
Yeah.
After the single took off, he said, later for doing the second single, just go in and do an album.
Okay.
And at that point, that's what
That was a blessing. We wrote Who Got the Props for like a whole year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Single.
And that's
crazy to
everything.
think about now.
You was able to do that back then because it was a whole different time. Like records lived. You know what I'm saying? Like look at when Every President came out. That record lived for like 2 years.
Hard.
Yeah.
It was breathing.
And it was
Bring it
hard.
home.
It was hard. That's the reason why when we called it Enter the Stage, we called it Enter the Stage because we knew at that time, the minute we got the call to do this album, we was gonna go through some tough stages. And we knew, like Father said to you, it wasn't easy because we were doing this by ourselves. And it was really a tough time. So we called it Enter the Stage because we was prepared to enter the first stages of what we were about to go through because we knew it was a long run.
Right. Well, let's actually start going through a couple of these songs here. We're going to start with Powerful Impact. First track off Into the